Good afternoon, everyone. Glad everybody could join us here for class today. As we discussed yesterday, culinary arts. It's more than just simple food preparation. It's more than just the colors and taste combinations that we're able to come up with. It's about safely handling, preparing, and storing our food. So we come to you today from where else? Inside my home, inside my kitchen. And again, I'm glad that everybody could come out because this single lesson could be the most important lesson that we cover during the entire semester. So, where do we begin? Let's talk about the cleaners. Typically, you have your common cleaners. And as I would dare to say, Lysol, you have Mr. Clean, and the ever important Clorox. Anywhere hard surface cleaner. Now, would everybody agree that these are all pretty well common cleaners that are used in the everyday home, the restaurant, different types of businesses and whatnot? I would think so. Let's begin with the instructions. Most important key element to anything you do is you got to read the instructions. Would everybody agree? Yes, that's correct. The instructions would be the first thing you would do. And like any good cleaner or any product put out for the public, the instructions are clearly here on the back, as we'll discuss in depth as we move on. There are also storage instructions as well. Some of these products can't withstand heat or cold or moisture. Storage of these types of sanitary cleaners is very vital and important. Then you might say, well, let's talk about amounts and the proper usage. How do we know how much to use for any given spill, any given stain? Well, you wouldn't know, but you can always refer back to your instructions and your proper amounts and your proper directions for use. Again, we will break these down and go by these step by step. But can everybody agree that every vital part of the information that you would need to use a sanitary cleaner is available to you right here on the back of this label? Correct. It is. You know, there's a lot of safety guidelines. There's a lot of issues with cleaners. There's a lot of information out there on the internet. But the one thing you can always rely on, there's always a web address and a number to call in case of emergency. Has anyone ever used that number? Has anyone ever had a particular instance where they needed to? I can think of a few instances where I had to call an 800 number because we got an employee had some of this cleaner in his eye. We didn't really know what to do. So we referred back to the number on the instructions. Luckily, everything was taken care of and we made it to the emergency room, and we had already taken proper steps to save the employee's eye and his vision. The other question might be if I have a stain or if I have grease or if I have whatever the instance may be, what type of cleaner to use? Again, do you just use whatever? No. Do you put a fire out with water? No, exactly. That's right. So what you want to do, again, there are different cleaners for different spills. There are different cleaners for different types of stains, etc. So you want to, again, revert back to your instructions for the proper usage. You know, the thing about cleaners is we take these things for granted on a daily basis. I know I do. I know most people do. We never give much thought to what is the right amount. Just throw it on there and use it. As you can see, food preparation in this day and age is quite important. I'll give you a good example right here. This is not the proper use in the kitchen. So, what have we learned today? We're going to learn how to navigate through our instructions, our proper usages, and possibly what cleaners are good for what types of instances. Again, I'm glad that everybody could join us today. So, unless there's any more questions, let's get started with the lesson.